Alright, welcome to the video on section 1.2, second part. Alright, so in the last video we stopped at 71. I kind of was looking over it and thought we might need to work some of these, a few more of these out. So I'm going to look at number 70. I'm going to do number 70, which is 8w plus 5 over 10w minus 7 equals 4w minus 3 over 5w plus 7. Alright, so it's just one fraction equals another fraction. So a trick here is to cross multiply. Because when you have a fraction, let's say I have 3/6, and that's equal to 1/2. I think everybody agrees with that, right? 3/6 is equal to 1/2. It's just a property of fractions that when you cross multiply, you get equal numbers. So for instance, the product of this denominator and this numerator is 6. Same here. 3 times 2 is 6. So that times that is equal to that times that. So that's got to be true over here. That times that has to equal that times that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 8w plus 5 times 5w plus 7 has to equal 10w minus 7 times 4w minus 3. So now it's just a matter of expanding this and solving for w. So let's go ahead and multiply it out. So we do these two first. That's 40w squared. And then these two is what? 56w. Plus these two is 25w. Plus 35, right? So that's that side. Okay, this side, so equals, that's 40w squared minus 30w, and then these two is minus 28w, and then that's 21 plus 21. Alright, and lucky us, we got a 40w on each side, so what's going to happen with those? Well, when you subtract it from each side, it just cancels out. Alright, so now we have how many w's over here? 56 and 25. What is that, like 81 or something like that? 56 plus 25 is 81 w's plus 35. And over here we have what? Negative 58w plus 21. Alright, so I'm going to add 58w to both sides here. So 58w to this side. Oh, I won't write it down. I think by now you know what I'm doing. So add 58w here, it goes away. Add 58w here, it's going to give me 139 w's. Alright, and then I'll take away 35. So when I take 35 away from here, it goes away. When I take 35 away from here, I get negative 14. And now you just divide by 139. So w is negative 14 over 139, which is I think that's probably in simplest form. That's approximately, if you want to know where that is, negative 14 divided by 139 is about negative 0.1. You don't have to have this part. This is, right here, this is fine. Okay, and then let's look at 76 as well. So we have x plus 1 over x squared plus 2x minus x plus 4 over x squared plus x equals negative 3 over x squared plus 3x plus 2. Alright, well, it's kind of a mess, right? What we need is to get these factored forms so that we can find a common denominator that we can multiply through and get rid of all the denominators. So my goal here is to multiply each term by the same thing so that all the denominators just go away. Well, here you notice that both these terms have an x, so I can go ahead and pull an x out. So x plus 1 on top. And if I pull an x out, that leaves me with what? X plus 2? Right? So x times x is x squared, and x times 2 is 2x. Okay, so that one's factored. Minus x plus 4. Again, both these have an x, so I can factor out an x, leaving me with x plus 1. So x times x is x squared, and x times 1 is x, so that should be right. And over here, negative 3. And this one factors. I need two numbers that multiply to 2 but add up to 3. Well, that's easy enough. 1 and 2, right? 1 times 2 is 2, but 1 plus 2 is 3. So this factors to x plus 1, x plus 2. Okay. So now the denominators are all factored, and I can find the least common one for all of them, right? So obviously we're going to need an x because these have an x. So this is what I'm going to multiply through by. X, because that's a factor here. X plus 2, because that's down there. What else is down there? X plus 1. I think that's it, right? So that should cover everybody. So when I multiply this fraction by that, the x plus 1 and the x plus 2 go away, leaving me with just x. Right? When I multiply this one, x plus 2, x plus 1, the x and the x plus 1 go away, leaving me with the x plus 4 times x plus 2. And when I multiply this one by x plus 2, x plus 1, the x and the x plus 2 cancel, leaving me with x plus 1 times x plus 1. So let me write out what's left over. So here I just have x plus 1, x plus 1. Here I have my x plus 4, which was already on top. And what didn't cancel? That x plus 2. Right? If you don't understand it, pause it, go back, take your time, and figure out what's going on. Right? I think if you look at it slowly, write it down, this is going to make sense to you. Equals, alright, so the negative 3 is still up there, it didn't cancel. And that x didn't cancel. But the x plus 1's canceled and the x plus 2's canceled. So now this is my new equation. Alright, keep in mind, x cannot be some things, right? X cannot be 0. Because if it is, you're going to get 0 times something, which is going to give you 0. X cannot be negative 2 because of this factor. And x cannot be negative 1 because of this factor. So these are not viable solutions, right? If I get one of these as an answer, it's extraneous. Alright. So now when I multiply this out, what do I get? X squared plus 2x plus 1 minus, I'll put this in parentheses because I gotta be very careful here. I'm just going to set that there and then distribute, and I'll distribute that negative later. So that's going to be x squared, 6x 4 times 2 is 8 equals negative 3x. So now that negative needs to be distributed. So x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus x squared minus 6x minus 8 is negative 3x. Alright, so looking at like terms, we see here that this x squared and this negative x squared cancel out because they're both on the same side, so they cancel out. I have a 2x and a minus 6x, so that's a total of a negative 4x. So let me just go ahead and mark those out because I'm done with them. And then I have a 1 and a minus 8, so that's minus 7. Alright, so those are gone. Equals negative 3x. So now I could just add 4x to both sides, right? Add 4x here, add 4x here, and I'm left with negative 7 is equal to 1x. So that should be the solution. That's not one of these, so we're good. That's it. You could check it on your calculator and see if those two graphs cross there. But yeah, it agrees with the book's answer. Alright, I'm also going to do number 77. Alright, so 77 says if the coordinate A2 is on the graph of y equals 5x plus 4, what is A? Well, if this point is on this graph, then what we can do, since we're given y, we could just replace y with that 2 and solve for x to figure out what that number there is. So that's really just an x value, right? So all I have to do is put 2 in for y. And then solve. So take away the 4 from the 2. That's going to give me negative 2 is 5x. And then divide by 5. So what, negative 2/5? Which is the same thing as that A right there. Make sure that's right. Yeah. Alright, so that was pretty simple. And solving an equation. So let's look at number about 83. Let's try. No, we'll do it even. No, I'll do 83. Right. So x over a plus x over b equals c. And it says solve each equation for x. So we know here that, and there's some things that to the side of it. For instance, it says a cannot be 0, which makes sense because if it is, you're going to get a 0 in the denominator. B cannot equal 0, which makes sense. And it says a cannot be the opposite of b. A cannot be the opposite of b. Alright. So what we want to do then is just solve this for x. Alright, well, a is in the denominator, b is in the denominator, so the least common denominator is just a times b, so I'm going to multiply this by a times b. I'm going to multiply this by a times b. I'm going to multiply this by a times b. And what that's going to do for me is just get rid of the denominators altogether. So when I do that, the a's cancel, leaving me with x and b, right? So that's xb plus. This is going to leave me with xa equals, and this is going to be ABC, right? Alright, now both of these have an x, so I can, remember I'm trying to solve for x, so if I factor out an x, that leaves me with b plus a. Now I can just divide b plus a into both sides to isolate x. So if I divide this side by b plus a, I just get x. And if I divide this side by b plus a, or a plus b, since it's addition, the order doesn't matter. I just want it to be in alphabetical order. I'm not sure why, but there we go. So that is the solution. And now you can see why a cannot be, well, it's obvious now why a cannot equal the opposite of b, because if it is, that's going to be 0 down there, right? That wasn't obvious to me here. Maybe it should have been, but it wasn't. Alright, and I think that's it for section 1.2. If there's some problems that you want me to work, that you're having a hard time with, just email them to me, and I'll see if I can make a video of it and post it as just its own thing. Alright, thanks for watching.